All right, let's try take two here. Let me go drop that. All right, let's see if this works this time. All right, so let's go to projects. Let's open up Breakfast Hill. We'll get that rocking and rolling. Jeez. And then as soon as that opens, we will then go over to Greenskeeper. This takes a minute because it's a big project. It's thinking about it. Oh, it's loading. Oh, look at that. It loaded. Okay. We got this far. All right. Let's go Greenskeeper. Let's open Greenskeeper and hope it doesn't crash this time. Aha, we got something. All right, we got a working. You can't maximize this? Oh, it's weird. All right. I might pop out and maximize it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Whatever. Oh, sorry for the delay, people. I am not sure what was going on, and I don't know why I can't make this bigger, but okay. We'll go with, no, you know what? Screw up. I'm closing it, and I am going to do maximized, because I don't want to. Not windowed, 1440. God, and it opened it on the wrong monitor. Come on! Nothing's working for me today. All right. So, yes, put it on display 2. There we go. Okay. It's really annoying because this is actually my primary, sort of. So it's what I like play games and stuff on. But I have, so that what you're looking at is on my OLED, which I don't always have on. I have my other monitor that I use for, like, you know, if I'm doing like text and stuff, and I'm not doing like media and stuff, because obviously the OLED's really nice, and there is still that burn-in problem. This is also one of the earlier OLEDs, so it's about a year and a half old now. So obviously burn-in can be a problem. So I like to use the OLED just for like gaming and like this type of stuff, where it's not going to be a ton of static elements a lot of the time, for the whole time. All right, let's see what we are doing. Tease. Let's see if we even got to. I'm going to pop over Breakfast Hill, and I'm going to grab the course. Scorecard. Where's the scorecard? Am I blind? About the course, probably. Hey, how's it going, Potts? Course do you be working on today? Today I'm working on Breakfast Hill. It is in Greenland, New Hampshire, which is over on the seacoast, sort of. It's just one town in off the seacoast, over by Portsmouth and Hampton. And actually, we're looking at the About is actually completed in June of 2000, so it's actually a relatively new course. I played it last year. It is a fun course. All right, so we're going to need the yardages here. And I believe, let me check real quick, on hole 9, I think we're doing red as maroon, black is black, silver is white, and yellow is gold. Cool. All right. So I'm going to actually drag the scorecard just onto the other screen. Obviously, you can't see it, but, you know, sorry. But so I can use it for reference while I'm making all this stuff. All right, so onward to hole 10. I got to reorient myself here. Okay. Hole 10. This is hole 10 right here. This is hole 1 here, hole 10 here. So if you haven't seen this course before, it's kind of like a concentric course. Like the front 9 is on the outside, and then the back 9 goes inside, here and here, and then back down. So it's like 2 like courses that run parallel to each other, which is really annoying because 10 is so far away from, like, it's a little bit of a trek from 9, the green of 9 over here, back over to the tee box of 10 over here. But, you know, it is what it is. All right, cool. So this is the tee box of 10. So we're going to add, and we're going to put the tee, sorry, that is the pin marker, or green marker. We're going to stick that over on the green. We're going to stick the par 3 chip out there. We're going to stick the juniors out there somewhere. We're going to come back to those later. This is our aim point. So our aim point we want about here. There's going to be a bunch of trees and stuff right here. See 3 chances for refills. What are we talking about? All right, so maroon is actually the back tees on this course. So we're going to stick those there and make sure that, yes, it is supposed to be 362. So we'll drag it back. I mean, 361.8, I'd say that's close enough. Then we have the... Oh, to hit the well, really there's only 2, because you got 1 is here, 2 is here, and this is sorry, 1, 10, and then 9, 18. So getting back to the clubhouse, you can only get to it after the 9th hole. But they do have a cart girl, so you're all good. You can restock pretty often. All right, I gotta stretch this out just a little bit more. All right, black tees on this side is 309. So right there. We got the whites, which are 281. So I'm just gonna stick them on the front of this tee box because, I mean, that's as close as I'm gonna get. 292, I can live with that. And then the golds are supposed to be also 281. So actually, I guess move up the whites, and that tee box will just be empty. Yeah, that's fine. They do very interesting on this course. They really have a lot of different tee boxes, tees that are all different lengths. So you can do maroon, you can do maroon black, you can do black, you can do black silver, you can do silver, you can do silver gold, and you can do gold. So they have distances for all those from 5,000 to 6,500. So you get a bunch of options. I don't know, and all of them are individually rated as well. So all like 7 of those combinations are rated for the men's, and then it's only the maroon and the maroon black that are not rated for the ladies, which is kind of a bummer because my friend plays the 6,500 tees most of the time when she's playing. So they don't have ratings for her. Alrighty, so we're gonna go out here. We have our aim point. I usually stick it around the 230-ish mark from the tips. And then we have our juniors, and since this is a par 4, I'm going to probably move our juniors back a little bit, just because it's a really rough spot. I'm going to stick them right here, because if I stuck them right here, this is like rocks and trees right here, so I'd totally like be pinching them off from the... So it's going to be a little shorter of a par 4 than normal. Normally I put them at the 170-ish mark. And then the par 3, we're going to at least get line of sight to the green, probably right about there. It's going to be a short one, 106. And onward we go to 11. I'm going to have to do some work on these. These are looking a little scruffy. Right, so on to 11. So plus, add, black goes to the back. Actually, black does not go to back. This one's going to just screw me all up doing this course, because reds are usually the forward tees. Alright, so move all the little stuff out there. We'll run up, just stick this in the middle of the green. And then we'll go back. Aim point is kind of out there. Yeah, like the 235 marker, so that'll be fine. All right, let's see. For the reds, we need 473. So these are just going to go as far back as I can get them, and they're going to be at 469. The black need to be at 460. So these are going to go back pretty far too. 460. We have the silver at 401, which are up where the golds are currently sitting. 401, and we'll grab the golds, and those are going to be at 382. Those are going to be right on the front of this tee box pretty much. 382. Let's make sure these are actually on the tee box, so you get the reference points. These will be the tee markers on the ends of these little sticks. For the juniors, because this is a very long par. Is this a long par 4? Where's the par on this? It's a par 4/5. So it's a par 5 if you're playing black and maroon, and it's a par 4 if you're playing the rest. So it's the only hole on this course that is actually two different, depending on which set of tees you're playing. So okay. Awesome. So we're going to treat the juniors as actually, let me see what I actually put it in here. Base. I put it as a par 4. So we're going to treat the juniors as a par 4. And it's just going to be a long ass course for the people playing the red and the black. That's a long par 4. All right, so we're going to treat it as a par 4, so we're going to put them out somewhere around here at the 185 mark. That looks like a pretty decent plan. And then we're going to move up the par 3s. We're going to tuck the par 3s kind of back here a little bit behind this bunker. They should have a nice shot in, though. Yeah, they'll have a nice shot in. Cool. Onward we go to hole number 12. Also a par 5. Red, black, silver, gold. Juniors out here somewhere. We got our aim point 1, which we're going to put at about the 240 mark. So 230 right there. Marker 2, we're just going to stick out there for now. We're just moving them out there so we can actually mess with them and fly out there. And I'd say that's pretty much the middle there. So we'll fly back and we'll adjust the tee boxes. So on here we have 572 for the reds, and we're not going to get them out that far. We're going to get 567. And then for the silvers is 526. So they are moved way up. 526. So it's going to be on this box. 526. So or sorry, the blacks. The blacks are 526. The silver is 471. So is it this box up here? Yep, it's gonna be this box up here. I'll drag the golds over to their box in a second. So I just want to make sure it's on the T box still. So it's about as far back as I'm gonna get. I'm not gonna get the full amount, but obviously, I mean, when you come in with like aim points, if I move this aim point, it adjusts. So, you know, it's the boxes are where they're supposed to be. It's just depending on where you measure the angle is, you know, you're gonna change. So for aim point number 2, we're gonna stick this out here. I don't know what the distance is for that, but that's looks about right. And then yellows are gonna go over on this tee box, and the golds are supposed to be 413, so it's 417. So they'll probably just need to go up to the front, pretty much. 413, right there. All right, let's make sure we're in the boxes. Good there, good there, good there. Barely. Aim point, aim point. All right, so this is a par 5. So juniors are going to be kind of at like the 240, 250 mark. So we're going to stick them right here. And then as far as the par 3, I can't remember what this looks like over here. I think there's a lot of trees. So I'm just going to try to at least get line of sight. We're going to do like 136. How's that? All right. Red, black, silver, gold, pins, juniors, par 3, aim point. This is going to be about there. Since this is a par 4, we're going to move the juniors back here to about the 175 mark. We'll just stick them right here in the middle of the fairway. And the par 3, we're gonna make it a little hard. We're gonna tuck it behind the pond, so you get a little pond shot. There we go. I like making the par 3s a little interesting. Try to stick them, you know, behind ponds, behind sand traps, and all that stuff, just to give it a little fun touch. All right, we're centering that. All right, the reds are supposed to be 295. So it's 295. The black is supposed to be 278. So we can either do the back of this tee box or the front of it. We're just going to do the front of this tee box. Yeah, because we're going to put we're going to put this silver, aka the whites, and the golds there. So silver is supposed to be 263. And the golds are supposed to be 246. So they're just going to go as... Oh, actually, we're going to probably hit it. 246 and change. All right, so we are good there. Onward to this par 3. This is just going to be all scrub brush. I might add a little bit of water in here. Just like a small plane of water, so you get some splashdowns, because it's mostly unplayable. But it's not really open. It's just like completely packed with what do you call it? Cattail and brush and stuff. So there's really no open water, which is why I didn't dig a trench there. All right, add. Make sure it's relatively centered. Yeah, it's about center. All right, so this one is fun. Got a lot of range here. So the red tees are 174. So it's probably this back box right here. Yep, it is. Just make sure we get our tee markers on the pad. All right, there we go. Black is, so yeah, it's really just those that are way back. And then there's like a mid combo marker we're not going to be using. So if you're playing maroon and black, you're going to go to 158, but we're not. So we're going to go to the black tees, which are going to be at 128. So probably this little back spot right here, or yeah, this little back blip right there. 128. Silver is 109. So back of the, let's line them up in the middle of the tee box here. And the gold is supposed to be 104. We're going to stick the juniors just up here. They're going to have a nice short 87. And then the par 3 are going to play 120 over here. So this tee box didn't even get used. But oh, that's where the combo marker ends up going. What's up, golf guy? I am working on Breakfast Hill Golf Club in Greenland, New Hampshire. It is a relatively new-ish golf course. It was opened in the year 2000. So, I mean, that's relatively new for golf courses around here. Most of the golf courses around here were built in a good hunk of them were built in like the early 1900s and then a bunch in the 60s. It's a really, really nice course. Got to play it last summer. I will probably play it again this summer when I go to the beach. My family likes the beach. I like to go golf. So I pretty much just go play a different course each day. And then we meet up for dinner and lunch and all that fun stuff. Right, so we'll stick the par 3 out there somewhere. We'll stick the aim point out there for now. We'll move the juniors out there for now. All right, red is going to be the back tees, and they are at 395. Or sorry, 359. 359. Looks like a pretty course. Yeah, did you look up like the actual course? It is a very nice course. It is pretty tough because it can be pretty tight. I mean, it's just like woods on each side of the fairway, pretty much everywhere. It's definitely not link style course. All right, black is at 22, 322, good. Golds, I'm assuming, are up on this one somewhere. Silver, 274. Actually, they might be up there too. Yep, they are. Just looked at the pictures. Yeah, it is. It is very nice. Oh, I don't have my little background music playing on. I should probably get my background music going. Just for a little ambiance. Yeah. Yeah, it is a very nice course, definitely. So if like you're in like if you're ever in like the Boston area, make the trip up. It's probably about an hour and 20 minutes from Boston, maybe even less, if especially during the week. All right, silver distance is, sorry, I set it to, what hole are we on? 15. 274. So we'll try to just tuck these back as good as we can. That's about as far as I want to go with those. And the golds are 266. So they're pretty much about at the same spot. I'll move them up just a touch. So they'll be a little different than real life, but also again, it depends where they kind of measure the turn. Never played Northeast golf. The variety is really insane just because you have really old courses and then really new courses. You have a bunch of new courses too. So like that old New England country club style course is like, they just kind of wung it. Obviously you didn't have like the best, like, you don't have GPS, and you don't have, you know, you have some topographic obviously, but you know, you just try to do your best, and you get some wonky holes. If you want to see, if you have GSPro, go check out Pine Grove Springs. It is the course that I created. It is a course that was just barely closed. It ran for 122 years, and that is the quintessential course for like a New England style country club, like 9-hole course. All right, the par 3, they're just gonna have a straight open shot at 144 today, and the juniors, they're gonna be bumped back to what makes sense. They're gonna have a slightly longer par 4. We're gonna go 182 for the juniors. Yeah, but if you got GSPro, go play go play Pine Grove Springs. And you will get the feeling of New England golf, of old world New England golf. All right, let's throw out these markers. All right, we'll put these in order: red, black, silver, gold. And we are on hole 16. So the blacks are 395. Sorry, the reds are 395. So we're just gonna pretty much back of this as far as we're gonna get. The blacks are supposed to be at 378. So those are actually gonna back up a little bit. 378 right there. Silver 343. So they're just gonna go right in the back of this tee box. And the gold at 325. Oh, I guess I can get to 325 on this box. I didn't think I would be able to. 325. All right, back at par 4s. This is just like a straight shot. We're just gonna, I remember this hole. Yeah, I remember this hole. All right, we're gonna put the par 3, we're gonna put them at like 128. Juniors, we're gonna tuck them up here in the right, and they're gonna be at 167. Aim point, that's too far out for the aim point. Aim point needs to be like 250 from the back, from the tips. That's kind of where I tend to put it. Maybe not that far. 239 from the tips. All right, onward. We're going to 17. 2 holes left, and then we'll do the pin placements on the actual green. This placement is just telling you where the center of the green is. All right, red, black, silver, gold. Par 3 is going to stay back here because this is a par 3. We're going to stick the par... where do we want to put the par 3? Well, let's put the par 3 at 130, and we'll put the juniors up front here at 101. I'm guessing the reds are just going to be... Oh, man, this tee box is too skinny. I'm going to have to move them up. All right. They're going there. That's it's probably short. Yeah, they're short by about 9 yards. The black 143, so they're right where they need to be. Silver is 117, so they just need to go up a little bit. 117 right there. And then I'm guessing the golds are going to be basically where the juniors are sitting. Also at 101. So the juniors and the golds are going to be sitting on top of each other. All right, last hole for doing tees. And then we can move on to the pins. So we got red, silver, gold, aim point at about 235 from the tips. I'm gonna make sure that's centered on the green. Oh, I went too far back. Par 3 marker will stick out there. Juniors will throw out here somewhere. We'll finish them off with a 190 par 4. How's that? 190 par 4 right there. And there's trees kind of pinning both sides of this green, so kind of let's go right. It's gonna be it's a tough approach. I'm gonna go like 137 for the par 3 guys. So this tee box is all the way back here. Was I supposed to use that? I am supposed to use that because that's totally in the wrong spot. Cool. The Reds, if we're playing the Reds, it is well, here it's going to be 238, but in real life, I believe that they extended the tee box to about back here, so it's a little longer. But I mean, geez, that's already long enough. Black is 394, so it's just going to go to the back of this tee box because that's the best we can do. 361 for the silver, so they're just going to be the front of this tee box, and then the golds are probably this tee box up here, and that's about as good as they're going to get, and they are 7 shorter than they normally are. All right, we are all set for that. Since we're doing tees, I'm just going to quickly drop driving range. So driving range. This is the driving range right here. And we'll stick the direction of the driving range is this way. We're already here. Might as well do it. All right. We're going to go to the pins now. So, hole 1. We're going to go to stimp. Ooh, we can actually stimp 13. Well, we'll see if we have to jump. Let's just kind of scroll through and on 13 and see if we can stimp 13 everything. So far it's looking good. We got plenty. We could stimp 13 this. That's a little rough. What does stimp 11 look like? We can still stimp 13. We're gonna still stimp 13. We're just gonna put it on the high side. 10. 10 looks good. 12. Man, we might be able to stimp 13. I mean, we got spot, we got space. The middle's terrible, but we got enough. We can stimp 13 this thing. We can stimp 13 this course. Perfect. All right, good to know. So we're gonna go back to hole 1. We're gonna drop our pins, and we're just gonna move. We're pretty much gonna put them all up here up front. Just because that is where we can actually play them. So Sundays, the Sunday tees I like to make kind of the hardest, but I don't want to make them too crazy. Thursdays I usually tend to make pretty easy. Well, that was pretty easy. All right, we got plenty of options on hole number 2 here. So we're gonna put, kind of put this Sunday against the backstop, and then we're gonna put Saturday over on the right. Thursday is gonna be in the middle, and Saturday is gonna be tucked over to the left a little bit. But getting stimp 13, that's pretty awesome. Like, it's not very often that there's a course that you can actually do 13. All right, generate. Which way am I looking here? Which hole is this? Oh, this is. Oh, this hole. Yes, yes. I remember this hole. Okay, so there's obviously 2 tiers. So we got a higher tier and a lower tier. So when we generate, we're gonna put Thursday and Friday on the lower tier. We're gonna put Saturday on kind of like the more open spot, and Sunday on kind of the crappier spot. Gonna move Saturday just a touch. We're gonna swap these. I want green pretty much all in nice flat space. So then there's two level tiers, 2 level green. All right, onward to number 4. I cannot remember this hole. I don't remember this hole at all. If I look on the satellite, I might remember. Oh, yes, I do remember this hole. Okay. Again, we kind of have this 2 level thing, but I'm going to put them all on the high side. Why does it make... Why? That was weird. Why did it make that a weird line? All right, so Thursday we're going to stick, smack dab in the middle. Sunday we're going to put over towards this bunker and a little bit more shady towards that spot, and then Saturday we'll kind of stick back a bit. Yeah, I think that's good. All right. Which hole is this? Oh, alrighty. Cool. So Thursday we're just gonna stick basically dead center of this thing. Sunday we're gonna stick back a bit. Fridays we're gonna move back but still decent, and then Saturday is gonna be forward a little bit but closer to a little bit more of this really screwed up area. Cool. Onward to 6. Don't have a whole lot of options, so we're gonna stick Thursday in kind of the meatiest spot. Friday, we're just gonna bump a little bit. Sunday, we're gonna tuck the pin back here. And Saturday, we're gonna, I mean, it's not really tucking the pin, so we're gonna move the pin here, but we're gonna have this kind of backstop that we gotta deal with. Forget which way it droops. Which way does it, I'm assuming it, yeah, it slopes down anyways, so. They're all not too bad. Just we're got a little bit of a tucked pin for Sunday. All right, 7. Almost don't even have to do anything with these ones. All right, Thursday we're gonna stick a little bit more forward. Sunday we're gonna stick a little bit kind of back, tucked off this little bit of a wall. Friday we're just gonna stick Friday dead center, and Saturday we have just a little bit of slope right here inside the gimme circle, just for a little touch of fun on Saturday. Man, we got very flat green for 8. What was this approach like? Let me see if I can remember this hole. Oh, yes, I do remember this hole. All right, this is a tough one. Okay, so we'll probably just go in order front to back. We're gonna put Sunday in the back. Thursday, we're gonna put in this big meaty spot up front. Friday, just tucked back a little bit more. Oh, sorry, I messed up Thursday and Saturdays. Thursday is gonna be this nice meaty spot. Friday is back a little bit more. Saturday is back a little bit more than that, and then Sunday is back all the way to the back. 9, not a whole lot of choice where to stick them here. This is a par 4. It's all, again, it's sloping down, so we're gonna tuck Sunday kind of back here. Thursday is gonna kind of go to the meatiest spot right there. Saturday, we're gonna tuck it back here a little bit more, and Sunday, we're just gonna kind of, maybe we'll put Sunday like right up front, so we got really short-sided. But Thursday is kind of like in the meatiest spot, meatiest flat point. Onward to 10. Sunday, we're gonna, it's probably gonna be one of the tougher Sundays. We're gonna stick it right here in the middle of like these breaks. Friday, we're gonna stick just a little to the left of Thursday, and Saturday we're gonna have some we're gonna have a forward tee on Saturday, but with a little bit of fun little break. So if you land it back, you're gonna have these breaks to play with. If you land it short, you're just gonna be short-sided. I think that'll be a good challenge. Man, these are some very flat greens. All right, Thursday, we're just gonna stick a little forward, just in the nice spot right there. Sunday, we're gonna kind of stick back there. Friday, we're just gonna back them up a little bit, and Saturday, just kind of go dead back. Looks good to me. 12. Saturday, we'll stick there. Not a whole lot to debate about that one. So we're definitely gonna stick Sunday behind the pond. Saturday, we're also gonna stick behind the pond, and then Friday, we'll stick kind of meaty, and then Thursday, we'll stick kind of like here. This is the par. Oh, yeah, this is the one over the. Okay, so we're gonna stick Thursday kind of forward. Thursday. This is a tough hole. It doesn't really matter where I put the pins on this one. It's a tough hole. So we're just gonna kind of group them, kind of in this area where they'll be the best. This is the one we do not get a whole lot of choice. Sunday is going to go over here, and then the rest of them are going to stay where they pretty much are. It's going to be kind of grouped. I'm going to swap blue and green. Let's just check what Stimp 11 looks like. Okay. 11 opens it up a little bit more, but 13 is playable. All right, hole 16. It's coming this way. Thursday is just going to kind of be dead center in this meat right here. Saturday is going to be back a little bit. Friday is just going to be to the left. Not a whole lot of debating. It's a nice green. What hole is this? This is a giant boulder, like a giant rock wall right here. So, okay. So this is already a tough one. So we're going to put Thursday and Friday up front. Sunday, Saturday in the back. Thursday, it's a tough one. Friday, we're just going to put like right up here in the front. It's going to be a tough pin, but it should be okay. Sunday, we'll tuck back here. Saturday, we'll tuck over here. Looks good. Just check 11 just for giggles. 11's completely open. Just for, I want to check 8 just in case. Friday. Which one's Friday? Wait, why is that giving me? Oh, I was just on that little bit of, okay. Move right there. Cool, cool. All right, and this is just a practice screen. All right, so we have all the tees placed. Have I done out of bounds yet? Out of bounds yet? I have not done out of bounds yet. Okay, so we're gonna do out of bounds now. So we're gonna start kind of just tracing the outside. I'm just gonna put this here for there. I'm gonna make these markers bigger just so I can see them for now. and kind of rough it in. All this area is out of bounds, so it's gonna be an interesting shaped out of bounds, but whatever. That is not what I wanted to do. Okay, give me a second one. There we go. All right, so I'm just gonna go corner to corner for now, and then we will adjust really, and then we will fine tune it as we go. That one we can put out here. I'll just get a few in the middle here. Let's get a few extra nodes just so we have something to play with. All right, get this past the corner. It's too far away to grab. All right, we got this spot, so then we'll rough in the middle. Let's, okay, apparently I cannot put a new node over there, so I'll just bring one over. Bring this guy here, bring this guy here, this guy here. All right. All right, now I'll just kind of shape the out of bounds a little bit more. It's hard to see, but if you look at the shading, there's actually a road right here. So I'm just gonna kind of add some marks along the road. I mean, you'd have to hit it through good amount of woods first, but you know. So I'm gonna just trace the edge of the road. It might be hard to see on your screen, but it's right here. You can kind of see this light spot. If I actually get down closer, you can actually see how it's lifted. This right here. So we'll pull it back just a little bit. And play in the woods a little bit more if you want. All right, add a node. I'm gonna pull this back. Let me check the satellite. I cannot remember. Breakfast Hill Golf Club. Sorry, it's on the other screen at the moment. So what I'm looking for, I want the satellite of this. All right. I couldn't remember, but I can see it now, that there are houses over here. I just wasn't sure how close the first kind of house started. So I'm still gonna move the out of bounds and just kind of follow what I have. It's hard to tell, but you can kind of see a gradient color difference right here between these two. This is the rough, this is the deep rough. So I'm gonna kind of contour with the deep rough. Actually, I can see the guy's pool right there, and I can see a house plot. So actually, I'm okay. Yeah, I'll be fine. So I can actually see what I'm trying to stick out of bounds. So there's not a whole lot of play because you were in somebody's backyard. All right, and this is one of the fun ones. Do I stick the whole water out of bounds? No, I do not. Okay, so this is where it gets a little tricky because I want the out of bounds to be on one side of the water, because obviously you're not going to trape through somebody's yard, because this side is somebody's yard. Let's look at the satellite. Yeah, so you're not going to be playing on this side, so that's going to be out of bounds. If you are on this side, you are out of bounds. So I'm going to just make a little node, pull it back here just to kind of square it off. But this hazard is going to be a pain in my butt because it is right in the middle of a piece of water. Let's check the satellite. For the most part, just kind of bump it in, 10 meters off the edge or whatever. Off the fairway. I can see some contours, so I'm going to just kind of follow these contours. This is pretty deep in the woods. If you want to play it here, you can knock yourself out. So move the out of bounds to behind there. Add a couple extra nodes to bump it out. Good times, good times. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. My wife has to work today, so I am all home alone today. And normally I'd be playing a ton of golf, but my hand is killing me, so I'm not going to be playing today. I've played so much golf in the past few days. I'm just hitting balls, whatever. Does anybody have a foam ball that they really like to use with the sim? Because right now I am normally, just for practice of driver or whatever. Because driver is not like I just care about which direction the spin is going. Don't really care about the amount of spin, don't really care about the carry. I'm more concerned about the strike location and all that fun stuff. But if there is a foam ball that you can actually get the correct launch, because I have the Uneekor, so I only need it to go a foot. So I don't need it to go far, but if it can register, like a real ball, that would be great. Just so it's super low. I need something that's super low compression. My hands are starting to hurt with hitting these, 100 compression balls all the time. I do have a bunch of Wilson Duo Softs, which are like a 37 compression or something. So they are kind of marshmallowy. So those are, I might switch to using those a little bit more, at least for just contact practice. Obviously they don't spin for crap, but just to save my hands a little bit, the impact, because I'm old and they hurt. All right, so we're gonna follow this deep rough and then down the cart path here, just staying in the deep rough. I do have some orange practice foam balls. I think they're Max Fly, but no, they might be Callaways. Maybe like the Callaway practice balls. And those are nice. They're actually not that different as far as flight goes. Because again, since I'm using the iMini Lite, like it doesn't need to go very far before it registers all the data and before it's out of the data range. Oops. So I don't really need them to go far. So they really don't lose a whole lot. Like the distance lost is maybe 10%. Spin is pretty close. It's at least spins the correct direction. So, I mean, that's great. But if there were some really like super, super low compression balls that give you enough flight to get a good reading, to get a pretty like close to real golf ball reading, that'd be great. All right, then I'm going to back. You can play it there. You can play it back here. So I'm not gonna penalize them too much for getting close to the parking lot. So I'm going to actually just come in nice and close, and I will actually just like go to the edge of the parking lot. Just can't play it off the parking lot itself. And then this is putting green area. So I'm gonna just kind of follow. I mean, if you're over here, you're in big trouble. So I'm gonna follow up the cart path and just kind of surround the putting green and make sure that's kind of out of bounds. And we'll just stick it right there. And then we'll follow the out of bounds down the cart path for the most part. So if you've crossed the cart path, you are OB. If you're on a little bit of the cart path, then you're still in bounds. Let's see. I'll give them a little extra space over here. So they can get pretty close to the putting green. How's that? You can get close, but don't get too close. And I'll follow this one down the cart path as well. Actually, I'll shrink these down so I can see them a little bit better. All right, so that's going to go down the cart path. If you cross the cart path, you're OB. If you go on to the driving range, you are out of bounds. I'll tighten it up on the over here. I'll give you guys a little extra of the woods. Knock yourself out. If you end up over here, if you want to play it in the woods, go for it. All right, out of bounds is taken care of. I will have to do some hazards later once I get the vegetation in here. Then I can start to see the out of bounds a little, kind of a little bit better, but we can at least hazard the 2 bodies of water. So add. One tip, if you're in Greenkeeper, when you make the hazard and you make this first triangle, make sure that you keep the opening, make sure it is where it's supposed to be. If you flip it like this, now suddenly the outside is actually the hazard and the inside is not the hazard. That's not always the case, but it can be a problem, especially if you're on like a peninsula. So when you, when you make a hazard, you have the triangle. This opening, you want to make sure you do not invert it. So be careful because it can cause problems. So you just want to make sure you do not invert the, oh, I don't have a collider on that yet. Well, I'm going to have to fix that. So I'm going to have to come back to, all right. I do not have a collider on the water. I probably do not have one on this one either. so I cannot do the hazard right now because I can't see the actual edge of the water. What's up, Coach Tom? All right, so I don't have a collider on that right now, so I cannot see where the actual edge of the water is, but we can hit save. We got a good hunk of this stuff done. I can go take care of the scorecard. So let's take care of the scorecard real quick. So I'm gonna pop over, I got the scorecard on my other screen. So the real life rating is 71.1.5, slope 30. The black is 68.4, slope 125. The whites, which are the silvers in real life, are 66.1, slope 115. And the golds are 64.9, 107. Par threes are always 40, are always my 120, and the juniors, I'm not sure if I think the juniors get calculated. Can I calculate the juniors? No. I already have the real ones. Okay, length, whatever. I'll stick them in again. T rating is 71.5, 130. Second set of T's are 25, 4. Rating 125. Their T's 76. 66.1, 115. Or I guess that's not where I want those. I want the yellows are. I totally got these all backwards. Crap. Just because they're not in the right, they're not in the right order. All right, the black is 5.9. Oh, no. Teach 3D modeling for mechanical engineering, but I was a civil engineer. But I was in the civil engineering. I just wanted to know how courses were modeled. Yeah, so at least if you're making a real course, you use LiDAR data. If you're doing otherwise, you could model it. You could take some LiDAR data from somewhere, then modify it in Unity or Blender. Most likely, you're going to do it in Blender. So if you are good with Blender, then you're kind of most of the way there. So yeah, Blender is going to be a good hunk of it. All right, so it calculated the juniors. So we're good to go. But yeah, so Blender is like the biggest thing. About the course. I'm just going to take the first opening description. Actually, I'm going to take this paragraph instead. All right, hit save. See what else I have left to do in here. All right, course keywords I need to do. Oh, lat and longitude. Yeah, I can go grab that. Where did you get the template you put the yardage in? So this program that we're looking at is called Greenkeeper. It is part of the utilities for making the courses for GSPro. So it's part of the scorecard. There's a calculator right here. So you put in the real ratings, and it will calculate the juniors. Or if you have like some T's that aren't rated for whatever reason, it will calculate probably what the rating is based off the rest of them. All right, Breakfast Hill. Let me get the coordinates here. So I'll add the coordinates in. All right, got those. Save. Okay. All right. Oh, I still need to do the keywords. Keywords and then fly over benchmark. But I don't have the. Ah, crap. Hold on. Let me grab this real quick. Oh, there's a call. Oh, he's calling back. I think he... Sorry about that. I had to answer the phone for my business. Obviously, I did not want to be yapping on a call. All right. So last thing we got to do with the scorecard here is what kind of. I mean, this is kind of. I don't even know what I want to call this. It's not links. It doesn't really fit into much of this. I guess this is Parkland style, right? Is this what is a, I don't even know what a Parkland style golf course. What does a Parkland style golf course mean? I mean, no, it's not that either. Layout, tree line tight, often narrow fairways. I mean, sure. I mean, it doesn't really fit any of these. What's a Heartland style? Heart or health? Oh, that's Healthland. Healthland style golf course. What's a Healthland style golf course? Or Heathland style golf course. Nope, doesn't fit that either. I don't know what to actually call this thing. because it's not a link style, right? I mean, maybe, I don't know. All right, I'll come back to that. What would you call this style of golf course? I'll deal with it later. All right, so we got that saved. And then onward we can go. So we are gonna close out for now from Greenkeeper, because I think we're pretty much done for what we can do here. We can set the conditions though. Max stimp 18. You can actually default it to 13. And calm for standard. All right, we'll save. And then we're gonna go over into I think we're gonna go over into Arborist. Unless there was anything else. I don't think there was anything I needed to modify really in here for now. All right. We are going to load up Arborist, and we're gonna start putting down some plants. Don't have any plants on this course just yet. This one I can at least expand and keep it windowed. Oh, my mother-in-law needs a battery pack. Give me 2 seconds. I should be able to. I'm pretty sure I have one hanging out just like right over here on the floor. Make sure it's charged, and it's charged. All right. This is so insane. I haven't verbalized all this near my phone, but I thought in my head over the last 2 days I wanted to search course design software, and this live appears. Well, you know, Google's listening. All right, my mother-in-law's asking about a battery pack. So, I mean, it's thicker than a phone, but it's the same size as this phone. All right, what are we doing here? Breakfast Hill. Yeah, DJ, if you have any questions, I think that says DJ. If you got any questions, yeah, let me know. Alrighty. So a few things we need to take care of. Yeah, so we're just going to we need to select which terrain we're going to be working on. We're going to be working on the inner. We're also going to be working on the outer as well, though. So we're just going to work on the inner first. And if we need to put anything out, I mean, this is such a flat area. We might not even need, we might, once everything's down, we might not actually ever see the outer because it's so flat. And what the heck happened over there? So it might not even matter. Okay, so we are going to grab Breakfast Hill assets. I don't remember where we put this stuff. Breakfast Hill. Because we did this one a little differently than I have normally. So we're going to go to assets, backup terrain. Breakfast Hill imagery. There we go. Okay, so that's where I want to go. So I'm going to pop over here, and we're going to go to tool. Nope, not tools. That is not the right place. Course settings. And browse. We need one of the satellites. What satellite do I want to use? I think the Apple one kind of looked the best, so we're gonna use Apple for now. I'm gonna check the size of the terrain. The inner was 2,000 meters, so put that in there. Close. You may have said it, but do you use LiDAR for the topography? Yes, use LiDAR for it. The people who make the tools, there's a new LiDAR tool that they currently cover the United States, England, or the UK, and a good hunk of Canada, I believe. But I mean, if you can get the LiDAR, there is a process. If it's not in that LiDAR tool, there still is a process. As long as you can get the LiDAR, you can get in either LAS files or DEM files. Either way, but you're gonna need it at least 1 meter resolution. Anything larger than that, it's not that great. All right, so I've done the satellite, so now I can switch to satellite view. So now we can switch between the rendered and the satellite, so we can see where foliage and stuff is. So I'm gonna start building a foliage package. I'm not sure what I want to do with it. It looks like, for the most part, if I remember correctly, it's just kind of a mix of mostly oak and pine. And it still looks like mostly oak and looks like mostly oak and pine. So we're gonna start throwing some biomes together. Biomes. I'm actually going to see. I may have a biome that will already work for this. Biomes. So I already have a few different biomes made up, and it works for this area. So I already have a few. I have New England. This is going to be my billboard, but I'd have so we're going to do the surrounding forest biome. We're going to import that. We're going to import the scrub grass biome. We'll probably make some modifications to them just to make them a little different. I'm going to bring in the billboard. I'll show you. That's going to be quite a while from now, using the billboard. And then I just have a few different ones. So I'm going to have the oak and maple already put together, the pine and firs together. I got a few other scrub grasses. I have fruit trees. I have a random tree biome. I'll bring in the random tree biome. I think that'll be fine. Oak and maple is already on 2 though, so I need to change it to something else. So random tree, we're gonna change to the deciduous forest, I guess. That'll be fine. All right. So there's a few things we're gonna have to look at. Oh, I can turn on and off the grass. There we go. How do I want to approach this? So I think we're gonna start over here. We're gonna do some quick plants. We're gonna do, it's called the quick plant. It's where there's just like standalone trees. So kind of the biggest thing right down here, you can see there's standalone trees all down this side, and then there's like all this scrub brush in the power line cut. So I'm gonna plant some of these as they go. So I'm gonna start with kind of the deciduous trees that I can tell that are deciduous trees. So quick plant. We're gonna switch over to the oak and maple. Just go with the tall oak. Boom, stick that there. Looks like got an oak there, oak there, oak there. That looks like pine tree. Kind of tell by the shadows as well. They're just shaped a little different. So we got a couple pines mixed in with some oak trees. So I'm gonna have to come through and stick some pine trees in here too. There's an oak tree there, oak tree here, there's pine, big oak there, oak and a pine tree, oak, 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 oak. These look like, the rest of these look like oak. That's a pine tree. That's a pine. I mean, the shadow makes it look like a pine tree. I'm gonna have to do a flyover. That makes it look like a deciduous tree, deciduous tree. I believe there may be a flyover of this course as well, so we'll be able to consult that once we get there. All right, so I'm gonna fly back and do this same thing. I'm gonna switch over to the pine. I do like the forest fir trees better. So I'm gonna stick one there, 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 there. Might not be one there, but I'll just put one there for now. These definitely look like pines. And they pretty much look like pines, but like I said, we might have to do a flyover just to make sure. This one could go either way. I'll make it pine for now. Cool. All right. All right. In this spot right here, we have a mix. So we're just gonna kind of have to mix it up a little bit, kind of take our best guess at what is pine and what is not. I'm gonna go with anything that's still super green, since it's clearly the fall. Anything that's like super green, I'm gonna say it is probably a pine tree of some kind. So I'll put a few like fir trees in here. And then I'm going to switch over to the oak trees and throw the rest of oak trees in here. And we can fly down in a minute. We can kind of see what it looks like. We really need to get in here too. There's lots of rocks that I haven't done yet. So that's one thing I'm going to have to work on is rocks. As you can see right here, this is just a whole bunch of exposed rock, right here, and then like you can't really see it, but this is like a rock pile right in here. So I'm definitely gonna have to have some issues. But see, we can fly down here, we can kind of see what's going on. Yeah, I mean that doesn't look too bad. That actually looks relatively close to what it actually does look like. We're gonna have to obviously move these because they are on the cart path. So I'm gonna move right there. Down a So you can kind of get a feeling of what we're starting to look at here. All right, so I'm just gonna do the outer surround. And how we're going to do that, we're going to do something called a mask. I'm going to switch over to the satellite view. I'm just going to mask kind of like the whole surround for the most part. So I'm going to start over here. I can make the nodes a little bigger just so we can see them. We're going to have to do a lot of, fine tuning and whatnot. But I'm just going to kind of get a, I don't know what you want to call it. Just kind of a channel of the mask going around the entire thing. And then we'll deal with performance issues and billboarding and all that fun stuff afterwards. But we're going to make like a, I don't know, maybe a 20 to 30 meter buffer. And we're just going to mask like everything. It's going to be a little interesting right here. So because this is the power lines. So I'm going to pull this mask. I'm going to finish this mask. And yeah, it's not perfect, but I mean, we have this strip, so we're good there. We're gonna just make another mask right here to here, and we're gonna pull it down. We're not really gonna see a whole ton of it, but if you do turn around and you look down the line of the power lines, I'm not too worried about this part. But if you look down the power lines, you're going to still see trees and whatnot. So now that I have this mask, what you do is you select the biome that you want, and this biome I have created already has like this like undergrowth and this mix of trees and whatnot. I will bring out the edge, so there you go. So when you're down here on the ground level, and you're looking down the power lines from the T-box over here, they are right here, you can see down there. I'm going to put another one over here. Just so, if you happen to look down the power lines, you'll see down the power lines. I'm going to switch back to this first one because what I want to do is I want to pull it down the road a little bit too. So if you're looking down the road, you don't see like, you kind of want to get it to the point where where it's going to be, blocked by this other mask, this outline. So this is all going to be for a surround. So when you're down here on the T-box and you look down the power lines, or you look that way. Anyways, you look down the road, you see, you see it. So I need to go a little farther just because it still gets covered. So, I mean, why anybody's going to be looking down this way, I don't know. But you shouldn't be looking down this way. But, whatever. People do. So I will pull this biome just a little further down. And now you may be asking, hey, I can still see through. I can still see through, and I can see crap on the other side. So what we're going to do, we're going to use what's called the billboard. I'm going to thicken that just a touch bit more, just so we have some fully rendered stuff. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a billboard behind us. And billboard is basically, you see how these, look at these trees right here. As I move out, they turn to like a flat poly. So that's called billboarding. So I already have a biome that is already rendered that way. So it's always just in the billboard format. So we're going to switch over. I call it I put it in the dead forest, but it's always billboarded. So it takes basically no system resources. Like I could billboard this, I could billboard the entire landscape all the way out to the edges, and it would basically not have a performance hit at all because they're flat objects. So they tend to not, it ends up not really having an issue. So now I have that billboard back there. So now you can see when I look into the trees, now you can see, oh, there's a ton of stuff over there. So let me hide it. So if I hide it, you can kind of see, but if I put it in there, you can't see the crap beyond anymore. So that's without the billboard, and this is with the billboard. And then if I switch out for not the satellite, so there we go. So we got no billboard, billboard, no billboard, billboard. So you can't see beyond the billboard because it's so thick. And that's how you kind of hide everything that's beyond. So use the billboarding. And like I said, it doesn't cost any system resources. Whereas you can see right here, down here, it's bouncing between, it's like 110 to 120 frames per second. So that's like, so now I'm at like 140 because I have a bunch of other stuff. But as soon as I get through, boom, once I'm into the billboard, I'm bouncing off 180. And see, I'm past the billboard. There's no billboard on my screen. Stays at 180. Stays at like 170, 180. It doesn't start going down until then I start getting these fully rendered stuff. So as soon as the fully rendered objects are out, boom, all the way up to max, as if they're not even there. So the billboard basically does nothing. I can pull this billboard all the way out to the end there. And make it bigger. And still nothing. Bouncing off of 180 the whole time. So you can go way out with the billboard. I'll probably come back and I'll probably billboard the entire thing. But right now, I was just showing you what the billboard does. So I'm gonna mess with this last biome here a little bit. Put a node there so I can pull this down the road a little bit. So if you look down the road this way, which I probably need to, I'll have to go back and add some concrete. But if you look down the road that way, then you won't see all this empty space. All right, so we're going to just go down the edge of this fairway. You can see where the deep rough is. So I'm just basically going to follow the deep rough all the way down and pull it over to the other side. I'll put another one here, so pull it over so you can kind of see where it is. I can hide it so I can actually just work on the... I didn't mean to hide everything that was around. I didn't know that I had all the vegetation for that biome. Oh, all right, learn something new. So I don't need to see the vegetation to be able to work this biome. I'm gonna pull up the satellite here. All right, so I'm gonna pull it down to here. It opens up. There's these 3 houses. Add it here. So I'm gonna have to bring in some of these houses. I mean, you don't have to. You can hide it pretty well if you want. You know, you just make this forest, and unless you've played there before, no one's really gonna know. But you know, I like to make the little touches for the people who have played there or will play there to kind of make it, you know, as close as I can. Obviously, I'm not going to model these houses exactly. I'm just going to use some prefab houses. But they're already there, so they're there, so we're going to put houses there. All right, so we're going to run up a new biome after these houses start right here to about here. It's probably this house, this house, this house, these houses, this house. So probably these first houses up to this last house at the end of the pond. This house we'll probably not bother with because no one's probably going to see it anyways. So we're going to run up another biome. Let me hide vegetation. So I'm just going to run it up the trees. Actually, I'm going to go back and look at this one just to make sure that it's ran. Yeah, so look, you can see it's I pretty much followed the tree line that was already there. Maybe pull it out a little bit more, make it a little more jagged, a little less smooth. All right, this biome, we're gonna run up hole number 3. Just gonna follow the tree line. Sometimes gonna be a little pain in the butt. You gotta figure out which node is in what order. Sometimes the nodes don't place in order when you're working on the mask. So if the closer you click to an existing node, see, I clicked on the left side of that node, but it put it on the right side. And I clicked right on it that time, and it put it on the left side. And that one is actually the right side. So yeah. So you just need to be careful, pay attention to where your nodes are getting dropped, and what order they're going in, just so you don't cross over and make some wonky mask. You can make wonky masks on purpose, just in case you're not doing it on purpose. You don't want to get super frustrated where all the nodes. See, that one dropped like a node between these two, even though I was like down here. So you can delete that. So same thing, that dropped on the other side. So I'm gonna run this biome up the power line a little bit. Probably cross it like right here, just to, eventually you need to figure out where your line of sight ends, where you want the line of sight to end. And again, if you're looking down the power lines, you're looking the wrong direction. Like, these are the T-box heading this way, heading that way. So if you're looking down the power lines, you are looking the wrong direction. So what I'm gonna do here is where are my nodes? For this one, I'm gonna come up here, and then I'm gonna drop a bunch of nodes here. I'm going to go across the power lines. So this is kind of like, if you look down the power lines, then you're just going to see a block of trees. And since this node is connected, I'm going to continue it up the other side. So this is where it can get a little tricky if you're not used to doing like these node masks or working with node shapes with nodes like Illustrator or whatever. I'm gonna have to come back and refine these anyways, so I mean, this is just really kind of the preliminary, get the bulk of it in here. So I'm going to run this biome behind this green. Oop, that one crossed over. Let's delete that. So let's just take a look at what we have ahead of us. So this biome is basically going to, So this one is basically going to encircle the whole thing. So it's going to go from here around this, from this pond. It's going to go here. I may even run it down and fill in this area. I'll probably stop it at like this crossing right here. But yeah, it's probably going to surround basically the whole place. This one particular mask. I'm really bad at doing it, but you should enter like the name of your mask so you can kind of find it. So, you know, so this first mask is over here. So this is, we'll call this hole 1 left side. So now it would say hole 1 left side. This mask is hole 1 across street. This one is hole 2 across street. And this biome is just like billboard, hole 1. Billboard. And then this one we're probably just going to call surrounding forest. So you can be as you know, organized as you want. I'm just terrible at it. Actually, that's actually the wrong one. This one's surrounding forest. Forest. And this one is actually hole 2 left side. There we go. So bump that in. You can see where we put. But we're gonna hide it for now, just because it's easier to work with while the while it's not throwing a ton of foliage and vegetation out at ya. All right, so I'm just gonna do the surround for now, and then come back and pull in the nodes into this area to fill it out, just so we can get the bulk of it planted. So I'm just gonna go across here. I'm not gonna worry about it being that messy. We're gonna have to come through anyways and make some adjustments. I already know this biome has a grass in it that I need to remove because it takes way too much processing power. It just has too many polygons or triangles. It's just way too detailed for what it's being used for, and it's being used for, you know, forest undergrowth, you know, just as a visual blocker, really. So I'm just gonna rip this around. So yeah, I'm not gonna worry about getting too fancy with it. I mean, this is just kind of like a scrub brushy area, but I'm gonna leave it as forest. It's not a detail that's going to be missed. I mean, it's behind the green. No one's probably going to miss it. I may come back and, you know, make a little patch or something, but that's fine. That's a future possibility. I just want to get the bulk of this mask put in here, so we can start getting some more done. So yeah, like I'll come through and I'll mask this area in here, Again, I'll just probably pull it, I'll just add some nodes and just pull it in here. Because it's all still going to be the same kind of surrounding brush. Or surrounding forest. That node did not go where I wanted it. That node's still not going where I want it, so I'm just going to swap it with this one. And you kind of want to make it a bit of a channel, especially with the full rendered, like the fully rendered assets, because the more you put, the more strain it's going to put on the video card, and the worse your frame rate is going to get. So you want to try to limit how thick your fully rendered biome is. So like here, where this, I'm not going to fill in this spot. I'm going to, put a line here, and then I'm going to maybe throw a billboard in here. But you don't want the fully rendered, or else you're just going to like completely kill your frame rate. All right. So we got the bulk of that there. So let's just take a look. We'll turn the vegetation on. So not too shabby. So we got this part here. So we're going to pull in this node. We're going to fill in this area. I'm going to turn off the vegetation for now, just so I can see what I'm working with. So there's a cart path. We're going to follow the edge of the cart path. And we're going to have to come back in here with the rendered version in a second. So we'll turn off the satellite. And we'll take a look at the rendered, so we can move it off the cart path at least. So do I want to continue on, or do I want to come in from a different spot, or do I want to just make this its own mask? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish this mask right here. These are probably just going to be some quick plants, and then I'll make a new mask for over here, just kind of like this inner spot. Especially because I might make like a hollow spot where I throw some billboards or something, or just leave it empty, depending if it can be seen or not. So yeah, so what you want to do, once you lay that down, you can switch over to the rendered, and then you can get a kind of better view than when you have it on. So now I can turn on my forest, and I get in here, and make sure I can make the node smaller now. So now I can kind of pull out the forest to the edge of the cart path, make sure nothing's on the cart path, bring in this node here so I can add in a little bit more. I wonder if I might have already saved the surround. No, I didn't. I can tell because it drops down to 120. I'm pretty sure I didn't save the surround with the grass removed, but I might have. I'll have to check. If I didn't, that was kind of stupid, but whatever. So just go around. I'll bring out the mask out to the edge. Check the satellite. Be like, okay, what's going on here? Okay, yes, the forest does come out to the edge, so we'll pull it out. I just completely missed the cart path when I was looking at the satellite image. So yeah, now this gets a little wonky because we have this cart path going through the forest. So what we're going to do a vegetation mask, which is this kind of like a reverse mask. So we're going to do vegetation area. We're going to take the mask and we're going to mask off the cart path essentially. And what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do the whole thing just yet because it's going to be easier once I am farther along. So what I can do is now I can do basically the reverse. So now I can remove plants, I can remove grass, I can remove trees, I can remove large objects, I can remove everything. So now I can cut a path through my existing forest and my cart path can be nice and clear. Not that anybody's gonna walk on it. I wish you could. I wish you could walk like the course and stuff. That'd be fun. So I just want to clear up, basically clear this cart path off. Pull it out just a little bit. Sorry, that tree's gotta go. There, so now I have this cart path. Not that anybody's ever gonna frickin' see it, but now I have this cart path cut through the trees, and I'll have trees and grass growing out of the cart path. Even though I have a biome mask that runs right over it. But now I have a clean cart path. You can kind of see what's going on. So we're gonna fill in this spot right here. So I'm gonna switch back to satellite view here. We've got a few little spots that we're going to kind of make like their own little biomes for. Well, we're not going to make new biome, we're just going to mask them separately. How much of this road did I do? Okay, I didn't do really the whole road, but okay. So we'll go back to satellite here. So we'll mask this area here that's kind of like in the middle of the whole course. Let's get rid of that. Let's get our biome masks. Gonna make a new one. I'm gonna start right here. I'm gonna run it all the way down, basically straight down the edge here. Hide the vegetation so we can work on it. And then once we're done, we can put it back. We're gonna make the nodes nice and big so we can zoom out and still see them. We're gonna make the no blend distance. It still blends quite a lot anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. This is probably where I'm going to take a little bit of liberty. Is right here is this little patch of shrubbery or shrubs. I may come back and do something with it. I may not. So for right now, I'm just going to completely go over it with the forest mask. No one's probably going to miss it. Oh, and I got a business call. Hold on, party people. I don't know if that was a butt dial or what. They might call back in a second, so we'll see. mask around here. Just throw one out here just so we don't have to worry about it completely crossing over. We'll probably throw another one over here just so we can get a kind of a line. That's a crossover. So this clearing in here I will keep because the green to the tee box, so people are going to see that. I really hope there's a flyover for this course because that'd be great. If anybody wants to YouTube that real quick, let me know. Where was it? Man, this got completely inverted. There we go. I gotta detangle the freaking nodes. All tangled up. Oh, did I cross into the other node? I totally crossed into the other section, huh? Let's bring this up. Yeah. Okay, let's back this off a little bit. See if I can get that. I can't get that node. Come on. Alright, so yeah, I brought them to here. Pull this one out just a little bit. Alright, so you can kind of see that our course is starting to take shape here as we start filling in all this vegetation. So we just keep working on it, keep covering it up. I can do another mask right here. Hide the vegetation so it's a little easier to work with, and that's actually kind of like scrub grass, so I will go around the scrub grass and we'll make it its own little spot. Satellite caught some people playing. Alright, so here I want to, I'm just going to do quick plants over here. This isn't as forested as it looks like on the satellite. It's actually pretty open down at that end. There's a little bit of tall grass, but that's fine. I can mess with the tall grass. Alright, so this is going to be surrounding forest. Boom. Do quick plants over here. Actually, I can pull it over here. Let's see, is that surrounding forest? Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm going to make the nodes bigger so I can see them. All right, what do we have left for places we can... So this big pond area, it looks like we can probably stick another mask. And then we're gonna have to do a lot of planting, just one-offs. How long have I been going for here? Has it really been 2 hours? Holy crap. I didn't even realize I've been going that long. Is anybody still with me? That's the question. If there's somebody still with me, I'll keep going. Alright, I'm gonna mask this kind of big inner area as well. Let's hide for now. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the power lines. Am I going to put the power lines in, or am I just going to keep the cut through there and not actually put the actual power lines in? I haven't seen power line assets handy. I'm sure there are high power lines. So this is fun. So this is kind of a spot where, like, you have these trees that are outside of the cart path on one side of the cart path. So you don't want to drag the biome across the cart path. So this is kind of like, you're gonna have to do some quick plants, you know, some just individual plantings along with using the mask. But the mask is good for covering, you know, large areas with, you know, kind of a set mixture of plants. That's basically what you're doing with the mask. Because, you know, how long? I mean, this would take forever if you planted this entire area, you know, by hand, one by one, or even with like a paintbrush or something. Pull that down here, open up the driving range a little bit. We'll come through, pull this guy over here, pull this guy back a little bit. All right, no blend. Let's put the trees in. Boom. All right, now you can kind of see we got like a lot of the bulk taken care of. I will have to change the color of the billboard because obviously this billboard is way lighter than the billboard for everything. So I don't know, we'll figure it out. But yeah, you can see right now how everything is working out. And now we're gonna have to go through and plant some scrub brush down the telephone. Let's do that. Let's do the scrub brush. I think we'll just do the scrub brush basically down the entire thing. That's fine. So we'll do a mask. This is going to be our scrub grass. I'm definitely going to change the color of this, so don't worry if it looks kind of like crap right now. I will change the color, and I'll probably mess around with some of the vegetation that's actually in here as well. But we're gonna drag it right across the road because we'll mask out the road with that vegetation area mask. Same with the cart path that's in here. Just so we don't have to make a ton of little tiny biomes, we can just pull this one large one down. We'll probably green this up a little bit. And then we'll probably quick plant some, like, you know how like you kind of get like just kind of not like trees, but kind of woody, like brambles and stuff. We'll throw some like just kind of little brambles, little bushes and stuff in here, but we'll quick plant those so we can kind of put them around how we want instead of equally like distributing them. So just follow this up. But yeah, we're gonna do some stuff to, I mean, we gotta quick plant some of this, some of these trees. We might actually even have to like mask it a little bit too with our surrounding forest. So the trees are actually in the grass. The grass just goes right around the trees. Follow this line. Yeah, I see this kind of open sand pit area, but we're actually just going to cover it. No one's going to care. Who's left with me? Yeah, people can come and watch it later. For those who want to follow along with how long it actually takes to make a course. How many hours in am I already on this one? I've streamed them all. I've streamed this entire process so far. So this is part 4. I think the other ones are, 2-hour markish as well. So we're gonna be on 8 hours already. I almost hit somebody's cart over here. Oh, wrong one. I want the other one. I want this one. I'm quickly going to go switch the biome priority on this. So sort order for the scrub brush, we're going to send that down to level 2. So now when I'm messing with the mask, get this back to this brush. Now if I pull it, it should be, should have been the other way around. Maybe I need to switch to the other way around. All right, let's switch it. It might be the other way around. So let's switch that back to 1 and the surround as level 2. There we go. Okay, so it's the other way around. Higher the number, the priority it takes. So good to know. So I will put surrounding forest at like level 5, just in case I want to stick anything in between. I probably don't, but just in case. All right, so you're sitting on the tee box. Da, 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 da. Oh yeah, you can't even really see down there anyways. All right, let's turn off the sat. So you're on the tee box, blah, 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 blah. Actually, that doesn't even look too bad how it already is. I might add a little bit more green in there. And like I said, I'm gonna add some bushes and whatnot. But that actually does not look too shabby. Might have to pop the render distance just a touch, because you can see it's obviously the render distance isn't a ton. So I'm gonna have to play around, move around the course, and see if there's any point where like you see such a long, yeah. So yeah, we're gonna have to extend the render distance of the grass out a bit. I don't want to, but I'm gonna have to, just because I have a feeling I'm gonna see it. Let me look at the satellite here. Are there trees right here? There are trees right here. Okay, so the render different distance for the grass we will address at the end to see if there are any spots on the course that we're just gonna see all the way down, and we're gonna see the end of the render. But I think for the most part, like, I mean here, yeah, I mean if you're like sitting here on the green, it's all gone. So we might have to extend the render out, and that is going to take some. That is definitely going to take some CPU. All right, let's just, for giggles, let's just go right here. All right, we're bouncing at about 100 frames per second. Again, this is on a 1440p. This is 1440 res. Let's see. Arborist is in the tools. It is not in the tools. It is vegetation settings. There we go. All right, so if we bump out the grass, if we bump the if we bump the render out to 80, let's see what this, it drops it way down. That's too much. Shoot. All right, we're gonna have to come up with some little tricks to figure out how we can make this look okay even at a distance. But that's just way too much of a performance hit. I do not want that. So I may have to thin it out. So that's an option. I can thin out the grass a bit, so I can drop and maybe get a few more, a bit more render distance. So yeah, I can bump it out, get a bit more render distance. I'm not totally sure if it's the grass that's the problem, because it may also be one of the assets that's in the surrounding forest that's actually the problem. Actually, yeah, let me look away from the grass. Yeah, that brought it down quite a lot to 95. Yeah, that brought it down quite a lot. So, I wish the grass was separate, but I wish you could set the density by distance, because I don't need the grass density to be dense out there. I just need, you know, just to be able to see it a little bit. All right. Well, I think I'm going to leave that here. We've made quite a lot of progress. We've started laying down trees and all that fun stuff. We got all the tees set. We have all the pins set. We now have, you know, a good hunk of the trees set. We're gonna have to come back into Unity at some point and start adding in rocks. These drops right here, you can kind of see the discoloration. These are actually supposed to be rocks. I know definitely over here on 17, right here, this bump right here, this is a giant rock pile. It's a rock pile. This whole area here is a rock pile. So we have a lot of things to do still. I'm just curious. I just want to add up what I have so far that I've done on this course. So this, we are at, how many hours are we at so far? So I've done 2 hours, 3 hours, so that's 5, plus another 2, that's 7. And then today so far, whatever we've got, another 2.5. So we're at like 9.5 hours or so far on this course. Now you can see kind of why people charge so much to build their courses. But yeah, I am going to, actually, let me save this. Geez, I haven't saved it since we started putting vegetation down. All right, so I'm going to save it here. I may come back later tonight and continue on. Or I might come back and do a little bit more tomorrow. Haven't really decided. And oh my God, the color difference is so different. Like, I'm looking at my OLED, which is super, you know, nice and bright, and I'm looking at like my regular LCD, and it's like it looks so flat. It's really funny, like the color difference between the OLED and the old LCD panel. All right, so that's it. I'm gonna drop off for now, and maybe golf tomorrow if I don't come back. Maybe more of this. I don't know. We will figure it out when we figure it out. So see you later, I guess.